Hello, my name's Steve Milton and this is a short presentation that we call Eileen and the Grit Bin. Now, some respected commentators are saying that by 2031 demand for adult social care will have increased to such an extent that it will consume most of the council's budget, leaving far less for things like libraries, street cleaning, refuse collection, roads and buses. At present, through prudent management, the council has been able to protect its services, but there are some tough choices on the horizon. So the challenge for us today is, how can we do more and increase resources in times of austerity? Well, it's time to meet Eileen and Bill. And here's Eileen. Eileen is 87 years old. She lives in her own home with support from her family and neighbours who lend a hand with gardening, shopping, transport and gritting her path when it gets icy. And here's Bill. Bill was diagnosed with dementia in 2007. He lives at home with support from his wife, Carolyn. He goes to the Forget-Me-Not Centre twice a week, and this gives Carolyn the break she needs to help her keep going. And this is really important, because Bill and Eileen live independently with help from relatives, neighbours and volunteers, and they don't depend on the council. And in fact, most social care is provided freely in this way at no cost to the state. And this is called social capital. So by increasing social capital, we can reduce demand for public expenditure. But how can we increase social capital? Well, we've already seen social capital at work right across Wiltshire. There are now 300 volunteers trained and working in Wiltshire's libraries, enhancing service and saving over £500,000 every year. There are 300 volunteers now operating community speed watch schemes, reducing speeds and saving lives all over the county. And without these volunteers, we couldn't provide these services. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Communities are leading the way right across Wiltshire. And there are so many community and volunteer-led projects in Wiltshire. There are first responder schemes, jobs clubs, stroke clubs, sports clubs, local history groups, farmers markets. There are cooperatives, play groups, arts groups, youth clubs. There are memory cafes, links schemes, car clubs, lorry watch. There are flood wardens, neighbourhood watch schemes, street pastors, village halls, community choirs, almshouses, and of course there are hundreds more. And these are volunteer-led services. So let's just take a look at a couple more. Shurston Footpath Group. They look after the villages, the paths in the village, and they have written a guide, and the local doctor now prescribes the walks for people with high blood pressure. And the Crosspoint Centre in Westbury is a voluntary group providing daycare support and advice for some of the most vulnerable members of the local community. And this really does matter, because these voluntary groups are raising their own money and they don't depend on public funding. And the things that they're doing really work. And with support and encouragement, communities can start up and run their own successful projects in their own communities. And this increases social capital and drives down demand for public resources. But how can we push this further? Well, we can really help by linking up community groups, bringing people together, sharing information and lending a helping hand. And we can showcase some of the great projects that exist, and this will help to inspire others to give it a go. And we can connect those who run successful projects with those who want to start their own. And at the Wiltshire Assembly last year, Cormac Russell called this asset-based community development. And councillors, parish councils, local groups, partners, we can all help to make this happen. But we have to reach out beyond our meetings into communities, at events, fairs, fetes, schools, shopping centres, places where people come together. And there we can showcase things that will inspire people to get involved. And we can get on with that this year. Well, how can we make that happen? Well, we're trying to find funding for a pop-up HQ so that we can get out into the heart of local communities. And we will also work with WFCAP to help get resources online to help people create new projects. And we will work with those who have set up inspiring projects and encourage them to inspire others to follow the lead, so that we can help more people like Eileen and Bill. Thank you for watching this presentation.